What is going on, everybody? My name is Keenan Costain, and welcome back to another episode of Hornets Recaps. And on today's episode, it's going to be a little different. We're going to be talking about LaMelo Ball being benched. Is it a heartbreak in Charlotte? And are there any changes coming in the Queen City? Well, let's just jump right into it. With LaMelo Ball being benched in last night's game against the Pacers, losing 114 to 112, LaMelo Ball was decided by the coaching staff, you know what, LaMelo? Time to come off the bench for the first time in about 5 years. So pretty much since his rookie year. And looking at that news myself, I thought it wasn't a bad idea whatsoever. And here's why. Because of the lineup changes, of the rotation, and the players that are being hurt. And you have guys like Brandon Miller, Grant Williams, you have Ryan Kalkbrenner on bench now. Ever since the last video that I made, Ryan Kalkbrenner was still in the rotation, and he's been out for quite some time. And the only thing that kind of remains the same is Grant Williams still being on the bench. And comes to what comes to mind is that Grant Williams might return in tomorrow's game against Utah. And with LaMelo Ball, finally, in the last few games, playing in back-to-back games, and with the Hornets coaching staff making that decision, and they're thinking of a long-term deal with LaMelo Ball here. And to me, I think it's an okay idea. And to me, I think it's time to make some trades for some players because I mean, gotta have a certain guy come in and lift this team up. And we're having so many players that are rookies that are playing, I might say. It's weird because shouldn't you have like veteran guys play for the team? Sure. Grant Williams comes to mind. Josh Green comes back. Sure, that's great. So that's what I think when it comes to that. When it comes to any changes to the coach to the I was not coaching, I should say players. Here's my early season trade preview. In my eyes, I think Miles Bridges should be traded, along with Pat Connaughton, and then Trey Mann, who hasn't seen the floor in a few games either, might have been benched to the coaching staff, but it was due to a mainly coaching decision. So, in my eyes, I think you should go get a big that could spread the floor, get some rebounds. Because in my opinion, the starting lineup right now is mainly LaMelo Ball or Colin Sexton at the point, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges at the power forward, and you got Con Kniffel, small forward, and Musa Diabate at the center position. But with Musa, he can start, sure, but you can only start for certain spurts. And that's just my opinion about him. Sure, he can grab rebounds, sure, he can grab blocks. I just think with Musa, he should be that bench guy that, along with Colin Sexton and those other guys come off the bench with their rookies. Should be the plug-in. And like I said in the beginning, LaMelo Ball should be part of that too. I'm down for some changes with LaMelo because something seems to be working with LaMelo Ball, Con Kniffel, Miles Bridges on the floor. Y'all have seen it. I've seen it. And I bet those guys have seen it. But the real question is, can those guys stay healthy on the floor? And I really think that can be a change uh, for the greater good. I really think so. It's getting better. Just got to learn how to close out games. I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm just trying to get my thoughts out. But back to Musa, I really think the turning point has been good for him. He's improving, but having Ryan Kalkbrenner or a guy at the trade deadline come in, I don't know who that would be, um, would probably help at the center spot. And also having another guy besides Khan and Miles, carry the load for us or for them, I should say. And I just really think, a guy or veteran guy should come in and be a presence on the team because we're not bad. I don't think. Sure, we lost by 1 point, three out of the last 4 games. Sure, you've lost or you won against the Thunder by 27. That's great, being the best team in the league. But you gotta play better when it actually matters, man. You've got to. Going back to an earlier point, with some guys being, you know, possibly being part of the trade deadline, Bobby Portis would also come to mind. Someone that could stretch the floor, someone can give you a presence, a NBA champion that has that experience of making the postseason. And yeah, that's one big name that comes to mind. Even though Bobby Portis has done well in Milwaukee, so that's one name that comes to mind for sure. Another guy would possibly be Steph Curry. I've heard rumors about that from Bill Simmons on his podcast, on his show, about having Stephen Curry come back to Charlotte for LaMelo Ball in a deal. You know, and to have that excitement back in the Queen City. Sure, LaMelo Ball playing a lot better, but he's also being on a minutes restriction with the ankle. And like I said before, I'll say this once and I'll say it again: LaMelo Ball being benched by the coaching staff, and he seems to be okay with that, and I'm okay with that. But just thinking of one or two names here, Bobby Portis and Stephen Curry, uh, possibly being on the team, or at least one of those players being on the team, would bring some sort of excitement. And my point being is making moves would probably be the best idea, in my opinion. So to wrap this up, are there any changes coming? I hope so. Are there any trades coming? I hope so. Because I really think looking at the NBA standings right now, we are 13 and 25, the Hornets are in the playoff standings. And, sure, we can make the play in still, but it's going to be some tough work, I really think. But with games happening like this, with the Pacers and the Raptors losing at the buzzer, and the bad last possession with LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton at the end of that game last night. That's not winning basketball. Well, another thought that came to mind: what is the future for Charles Lee and his staff? Does he get fired? Does another coaching person with experience fills in? I mean, it will be an interim head coach if Charles Lee gets fired, sure, but we'll have to see on that. So those are my thoughts on this video. I know it's a little out of characteristic for what the videos I've been trying to do lately, but I just thought I'd get my thoughts out in a certain way on the team's overall play and expectations, because I know it's been a long time since I uploaded a video like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to give a like and subscribe down below for more. And until next time, my name is Keenan Costain, and if you think that I missed anything else, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, have a good one, y'all.